Surprise, bitches. Thought you'd seen the last of me. Anyways, hi everybody. Welcome to Crossed Paths. It's me, Lucian. This is kind of weird because I'm using the actual Facebook app on my phone, so I'm not used to like looking at a computer. It's kind of really weird to be looking at my phone screen again. But how is everyone doing today? Is everyone excited? We're going to be learning how to make healing oil as well as how to make a spiritual cleansing bath. Yay, super exciting. So I'm just gonna move this over for a second so I can actually see the chat. Hi Simon, hi Opal. Um, oh, I don't know if it's been such a long time since I used my phone. Hi Nicole, hi Crystal, hi October. So as you guys mostly know, for those who have already watched my previous tutorials on how to make oils and stuff, I won't be able to really look at your comments. So if the admins in the group, if you could do a huge favor for me, and if someone asks a question, just remind people to wait until the very end when I swivel back around to me to ask questions, because I'm going to be focusing on what I'm doing and I won't really have time at the moment to be answering a million questions as things are going on. So, hi Lady D, been a while. Hi, it's moving so quickly and the bubbles just appear and then disappear, so I don't know who just came on. Anyways, let's get started. So guys, the first thing we're going to be learning to make today is healing oil. So let's get started. I'm going to swivel. Oh no. Oh yes. Okay, there is the button. I was afraid that there was no button. I'm going to swivel this around and let's get started with the healing oil first. And zoom in. Yeah. Okay, guys. So here is my little setup that I have for the healing oil. I already went ahead and lit the little tea light underneath the little thing I used to make my oils in. And the reason being for heating this up ahead of time is it takes about 20 minutes for the oil to become nice and liquidy, even though oils are usually kind of liquid anyways, but it makes it kind of like that really watery consistency, which will make things a lot easier to mix. I have my little spoon here, which I put down here just to make sure nothing gets all over the place. And the oil I'm going to be using today, guys, is jojoba oil. And the reason why I'm using this versus the other oils that people use is because this one actually has the longest, hitting the camera, the longest shelf life. Obviously, other oils out there, guys, that people use is like grapeseed oil, coconut oil. People have used, oh, what's the most common? Olive oil. What I've been told, you guys, is to actually avoid using olive oil because it's the one that has the shortest amount of life shelf and it tends to actually, what's the word? Go sour very, very quickly. So that's why I prefer using jojoba. Jojoba is actually pretty expensive, you guys. But as you see, I got this 16-ounce bottle. And I have not opened this up for like probably a year and a half because I forgot I even had it until a few days ago. And yeah, it's still perfect. And I haven't even opened it yet. So, with oils, as we all know, well, actually, no, as not everyone knows. So, let's get started. So, the first thing I'm going to do, guys, is when adding and making my oils, I tend to have several different steps. The first step when making your oils is you want to make sure to add the more heartier herbs, as they usually take the longest to kind of get their oils out of the herbs and into the mixture. So that's why you always want to add the heartier herbs first. So we're going to do that right now. So for example, right now I'm going to be adding a little bit of pine. And the reason for pine is because pine can be used as cleansing. So I'm going to take a little bit of this pine here, just kind of break it up and let it fall into the oil like such. Actually, let's take a little bit more. Actually, I'm just going to take this entire sprig right here. Bam. And just get it all up in there. And then usually, guys, this process kind of takes a while. So obviously you'll want to have 20 minutes to let the oil heat up. And then after you add your herbs, you're going to stir for a little bit. Then after you add the, what's it called? The heartier herbs, you're then going to add your oils and the lighter herbs last. And the reason being for adding that is because the essential oils that you add into this, along with the lighter herbs, always risk over cooking and can essentially burn if you're not careful. So next I'm going to be adding a little bit of lavender. And lavender is for physical and spiritual healing. Usually promotes a sense of peace, of clarity, love, friendship. But mostly I'm using it obviously today because it's a healing oil. I'm using it for physical and spiritual healing. So I'm not sure if you guys can actually see up inside there. Let's get a little bit closer here for a second. Stop bouncing. So as you can see, I have my herbs just kind of floating around in there. Gonna let it mix. You let it kind of sit for a little bit, continuously kind of stir after a while. But for the educational purpose, I'm obviously not going to kind of sit here for like 10-15 minutes just stirring this while you stare and watch me stir, because you kind of get the gist. So you want to kind of you don't have to continuously stir it for like 15 minutes, but you obviously want to like check it every 5 to let it stir to make sure that all the oils are seep out of the herb and into the rest of the jojoba oil that you added. Oh, I forgot to mention why I added the jojoba oil. The reason being is this is used as a carrier oil. And when I mean carrier oil is it helps to dilute essential oils, because if you literally just combine all these together and slap it on your skin or whatever, it can essentially burn you. Just to let you know, and it's not pretty fun. So let's say like 10 minutes has passed and we've been mixing. The next thing we're gonna do is add the essential oils along with the lighter herbs. So the lighter herbs, for example, I'm gonna be adding juniper to help boost strength. Ooh, damn, that was hard to open. It's a lot more than I thought. So add a little bit of juniper berry. And I'm adding a little bit of Epsom salt. And the reason for the Epsom salt that I'm adding is because that helps with purification. And hello everyone coming in. Sorry if I haven't said anything to you. I'm just kind of going through everything right now, so hold questions if you have any till the end. So I'm adding a little bit of the Epsom salt. And stir. Stir, 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 stir. Then you'd probably let that sit for about 5 minutes or so. And then at that point, after 5 minutes, you would then add your essential oils. So the first one I'm going to be adding is a little bit more of each of most of the herbs I already added. So I'm adding more of the lavender essential oil, pine, which I already put in there, and juniper berry. And then I have a few essential oils that I have not added as an herb that I will be adding into it. So first, I'm going to be adding some of the juniper berry. A few drops. Because remember, guys, a little goes a long, long way. And then I'm going to be adding rosemary. Just a few drops. Come on, bottle, do your thing. Oh, there we go. A few drops. Then I'm going to add a little bit of the sweet orange next. And what I'm doing for now, you guys, is I'm adding roughly 3 to 4 drops because I don't want this to be super, super overpowering or super, super strong either. Oh my god, this pine bottle's hard to open. Oh, there we go. So next I'm adding pine. I don't know if I said that earlier. And then if you guys notice, I don't know if you can see up in there. Actually, let's bring this a little bit closer than you can. Is it's starting to bubble a little bit. Ooh, and the Epsom salt actually got a little scarred up in there. That's why, guys, you want to be careful to make sure you continuously stir every once in a while so that things don't become clunked up inside. And if you notice that the oil starts to burn, you can even take this off and just kind of let it set for a few minutes before resuming again. And then finally, I am adding a little bit of lavender into the mix. Actually, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the reason being for why I'm adding a little bit more lavender, you guys, is because if you want to have one scent that overpowers most of it, you want to add more of that essential oil than all of the others. So for example, if you want juniper berry to be the main scent, you would add probably like 10 to 15 drops of juniper berry and then 3 to 4 drops of all the other essential oils that you added. And then you just let it stir. And I should have stirred a little bit before because the Epsom salt that I added earlier, it like melted to the bottom. So that's why, guys, it's important to be careful. So we just stir for a little bit. Stir, stir, stir. And guys, smell the essential oils that you've mixed in every once in a while. And when you feel that it's ready, all you do, obviously, down below is just blow out the candle, which is what I'm going to do now, actually. And then, carefully, I'm going to set this on here. Move this over without burning my finger. Bring this back over here. And then next step, grab your little bottle. This is my little bottle. The reason why I chose an amber one versus a clear or the cobalt is because this one will protect from sunlight. Because sunlight tends to make oils kind of go a little bit sour very, very quickly. I don't know if sour is the right word, but it just makes them kind of gross. So what I'm going to do, okay, actually there's 2 options for this part. One, you could either strain out the herbs that are in here, or you could essentially just suck them up with a dropper like this to measure out how much you need in the bottle. Rancid, yes, thank you. That's the word I meant. It will go rancid if it's left out in sunlight. So as I said, you could either strain out the herbs, or you could keep the herbs in, and that's basically depending on your thoughts of how you want it. For me, I actually like it when the herbs are in the bottle. So I'm literally just kind of like sucking everything up in there. Now, another thing, guys, as you're adding the oil to the bottle, you have a couple options. You can either add extra herbs in there if you want to, or you can keep it as is, where it looks more like the shop oils where they don't really have a lot of herbs in them. It literally just looks like liquid and nothing else in it. But for me, I tend to like to add extra herbs of the herbs I used. So I will usually leave a little bit of space so that when I add the herbs inside, it doesn't overflow. So for time's sake, pretend I just added the herbs in there. So the next step you guys are going to want to do is actually wait until this cools completely. So what I will do is I will usually set this aside in a place where I know no one will knock it over by accident, and I will let it cool. The reason for it being cool, I will admit I completely forgot. I had a friend tell me that it needs to cool down first, and I forgot the reason why you need to cool it down. I just remember her saying that it's important you have it cool down before you put the cover back on. Anyways, guys, that is how I make my oil. So just to recap, I used jojoba oil. I used juniper berry herb as well as the essential oil. I used lavender, both the herb and the essential oil. I used pine, both the herb and the essential oil. And then the additional essential oils I used were, where are they? Sweet orange and rosemary. And that, guys, is how I make my essential oils. Wasn't that so much fun? Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of push everything over here to the side. And I'm not gonna put the lid on that completely. I'm just gonna kind of move it over here so it can cool down a bit. And we're then gonna swivel over this way to make the bath. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing you guys are going to need are 2 bowls. 1 bowl to put the water and, of course, all the herbs inside of. And then... I just saw something from Simon. Oh, I can't read it. And then the next thing you're going to need is a slightly smaller bowl in case you want to strain out the herbs from the water. And, of course, to do that, you're going to need a strainer. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing you're going to want to do is add your boiling water. And yes, before all this, I actually boiled some water, so let me quickly go grab that. Okay, say I only need that much. Okay, doke. So next, you are going to simply add all the herbs. Today, I'm going to be using Angelica, right here. And this is going to be to ward off evil. Oh, and I forgot to mention I'm making a spiritual cleansing bath. So I'm adding a couple sprigs of Angelica. Next, I'm going to be adding some cedar leaves. And the cedar leaves are for cleansing your aura, you guys. So I'm just taking the leaves literally and just kind of breaking them up into there. Next, I'm going to be adding a little bit of chamomile. And chamomile, guys, helps to clear away stress. And personally, to me, it smells nasty. But I'm going to be using it anyways because I have lots of stress up in my body that I need clearing. Oops. Next, I'm going to be adding a little bit of Abre Camino, and the reason for this is because it's a road opener and it tends to help to clear away obstacles in your life. And I have a lot of obstacles, I feel, a lot of things going on that I just need to unclear. So that's why I'm adding a little bit of crushed Abre Camino up in there. Next, I'm going to be adding a bit of cloves. And cloves helps to banish evil and clears your head. Which half the time I need to clear my head because my head's just crazy. Half the time I'm always in my head. And I'd like to have a clear head, thank you, up on my shoulders. So that's why I'm adding a bit of clove. Next, I'm going to be adding a little bit of camphor oil. And with the essential oils for this, guys, you do not want to go crazy. I literally will be adding like a drop or two. That's all of every single essential oil, and I'm only using 3 essential oils today. So I'm using camphor oil for cleansing. And added my 3 drops. I'm adding a little bit of lavender. Oh, why won't it focus? There we go. There's the focus. So I'm adding lavender for peace and tranquility. If it comes out the bottle. There we go. Because who doesn't love a little bit of peace and tranquility in their life? Next, I'm going to be adding a little bit of Solomon seal root. And Solomon seal root helps to ward off evil, but also helps to banish any negative energies that you may have. A few sprigs of that. Next, I'm going to be adding 5-finger grass to ward off evil and banish negative energies. Yes. Sprinkle that in there. Adding a little bit of anise seed for spiritual protection. I'm adding a little bit of bay leaves to banish negative energy. I'm going to be adding Fiery Wall of Protection oil, just a drop or 2. And I don't think I really need to describe what Fiery Wall of Protection does because it kind of says on the label what it is. But Fiery Wall of Protection oil, guys, is actually the strongest form of hoodoo oil for protection. At least in my opinion. So 1, 2, 3 drops of that. And finally, I know, guys, usually I would be adding hoodoo blue balls or hoodoo bluing in the shape of little balls, but I ran out. But luckily I have hoodoo bluing liquid, which does the exact same thing, guys. So, ooh, and it even has a little squirt thingy in it. Oh, yes, get it up on there. And then once you've added all the herbs and everything, you just kind of mix it around, let it cook for a little bit because you want the herbs and the natural oils in these herbs to melt in with the mixture. And then after, you're going to want to let this cool down. What I actually do is I place it in the freezer because that is the quickest way, you guys, to cool it down for me. And it literally takes like no time because you're going to pour this on yourself in the shower. Obviously, you don't want to be pouring scalding hot water. But hey, if you love scalding hot water, by all means, pour it on yourself in the shower while it's still hot. But me being me, I do not like to do that. But there's two options here. First option is you could either keep the herbs in here or you can strain them out. I personally do not like to have floating herbs on my body, so I actually will be straining this out as possibly careful as I can. Oh wow, look at that. And there you go. All strained, all beautiful. Yeah, there's a little bit of oh jeez, can't see. Yeah, there's a little bit of floaty bits in there, but you know what? That's not going to hurt me in the shower. And it's a nice, I don't know if you can see that, a nice kind of deep ethereal blue that's hard to capture on camera. So now what I'm going to do, guys, is kind of flip the camera around and explain a little bit more. Oh, hello. Let's find where I was sitting. Back here. Okay, so with these spiritual bath, guys, the next thing you're going to want to do, obviously after you let it cool down, is you're then going to take a regular shower like you normally would, shampoo, condition, use soap if you must, just to clean your whole body. The next step is you want to pour the spiritual bath down the front of your body and then down the back, avoiding your head. The reason for avoiding your head is because that is where the center of all of your spiritual energy comes in, and it's kind of where your Ori spirit lives. So you kind of don't want to wash that away and send it down the drain, if you know what I mean. So that's the reason why I tend to avoid my head. What else was I going to say? Oh, after you have poured the bath down the front of your body and down the back, you do not want to take a second shower right after that. You're going to then get out of the shower. You can either be like me, where I literally will just kind of like gently pat down the tender areas that I need to, that kind of don't dry off as quickly. But you don't want to take a towel and completely wipe down your whole body, because you just literally would have wiped away everything that you had just worked on. The whole object is to let your body air dry. And then be like me, if you must, start running around the living room, drying off faster, or just kind of like stand there awkwardly like, okay. But you have to let your body dry off, as uneasy and unnatural as that is. You want to air dry. And then that is how spiritual baths pretty much work. So now, give me 1 second. I'm going to grab my computer and open it up so I can see the chats. And guys, if you have any questions, type them up in bold letters for me so I can read them and answer your questions while I go get my laptop. And I'm back! So I just grabbed my laptop. Turning it on. Password required. What's my password? Crap, that's not it. Stop. I think that's it. Yes, that's it. Okay, hold on. Go back. YouTube. Set my computer here so I can see the comments if anyone has any questions. Hold on, I just gotta close all these stupid things that have popped up. Boop. Boop. Oh, here we go. Here I am. Okay, so questions. Does the blue color color your skin or your light hair? It shouldn't color your hair because you want to avoid pouring it down your head. You just pour down the front of your body and then down the back. But because you didn't leave the blue long enough, then it shouldn't stain anything. I mean, I've used bluing multiple times and has not stained my body, hasn't stained my skin. It, at least I know of, hasn't stained my tub yet. But if you are worried about it staining your hair, especially if you have super light hair, you don't have to go crazy with the Hoodoo bluing. You can actually put like a few tiny little squirts in so that it's like a pale, pale blue. So you don't need to have it as deep as I had it just then. What are some ways you could use the oil? Sorry if you're already being said. Nope. For me, I usually tend to use oils, especially if it's a healing oil, on a poppet. And the next video, if you guys want, I can show you how to do a healing poppet ritual. Because that's mainly what I use essential oils for, is if it's working on a poppet or if I'm dressing a healing, or for a candle. So you can obviously dress it on a healing poppet, on a healing candle to anoint the candle with. Say you have a migraine, you can dab a little bit on your forehead or dab a little bit on where you are feeling pain on your body. Where do you buy your herbs? I buy my herbs from a couple different places depending on if these places have them. And I'm actually going to type in here in the chat where I get them. So one place that I get my herbs is from mountainroseherbs.com. Another place that I get my herbs from is Pen Herbs. Penherbs.co. Penherbs.co is another place. And then there's one other place I potentially get my herbs, but most of the time I will go to those two places because you can buy in bulk.
Hi. How's everyone doing?
I just finished doing my oil and my spiritual bath. Now we're just answering any questions that people have.
Cool.
So those are the two main places that I get my herbs, because you can get, like, for example, on Mountain Rose Herbs, you can get like a huge pack, 4 ounces of every single herb imaginable that they have. And literally, like, that huge bag you get can fill up like an entire jar like this, and then you still have herbs like to fill this probably one more time. It's insane. And something that much costs like $3, or between 3 to 4, or sometimes even 5 if it's the more expensive herbs. How long do oils stay good for? Do you store in refrigerator? Yes, I tend to store them. Oh, actually, it depends on the carrier oil that you use, you guys. And I found that the jojoba oil that I use lasts the longest. And then the what's the name of it? Not vinegar oil. Olive oil tends to go rancid the quickest. So it really depends, guys, on the shelf life of the carrier oil that will determine how long the oil itself is good for. And I don't tend to really refrigerate mine a lot. I tend to just keep it at room temperature, and I keep it out of sunlight, so kind of like in a dark corner. Everyone said, hi, Dave. Are herbs ecodynamic? What do you mean by that, Jez? Oh, first of all, I haven't even said hi to anybody. Sorry for everyone who came in. Hi, Pansy. Hi, Isis. Hi, Queen of Shovels. Hi, Opal. I saw Simon earlier. Oh, hold on, because he sent me a message. I'm just going to check that for a second. Facebook.com. What did Simon say? Come on, computer, load. Hey. I've come out.
Reading.
Oh, okay. Who else is here? Hi, Thomas. Hello, Jez. Hi, Rochelle. Hi, Kendra. Hi, Isis Mommy. Oh, my Padrino's in here. Who else is here? Hello, Nicole. Sorry, guys. I'm just quickly scrolling through here. Okay, here's some more questions. So the first half of the video, guys, for those that came in late, was to make healing oil, and then the second half of the video, where I panned over awkwardly, was to make a spiritual cleansing bath. And what a spiritual cleansing bath is, it's to remove any negative energies that you may be carrying, to just really kind of recenter yourself spiritually, re-cleanse your aura, and everything like that. Okay, let's get caught up. Hi, Christy. Hi, Becky. Hi, Lady D. So, oh, wait a minute. Jez, did you respond back to... Jez, because you asked if the herbs, if they're eco-dynamic. What do you mean by that? I kind of feel stupid asking that. I feel like I should know what eco-dynamic means.
Alexa, what is eco-dynamic?
Of course, Dave's asking what it is. Energy efficient.
Alexa, stop.
She's going way in depth.
Yeah, so, yeah, ecologically friendly.
Oh, well, yeah, of course it's eco-dynamic because you're using natural herbs. The only thing that I know people would be a little bit reluctant about, because I honestly was a little bit reluctant about, was using the bluing, because technically it's kind of... Oh, but, ooh, look at this. On the bottle, it says non-toxic and biodegradable right there. So yes, this bluing is good for the eco... Well, not good, but it's not bad for the ecosystem. Oh crap, I just got all over my hand. Look at that. Fantastic. But yeah. Kitty on the towel. Oh yes, hello with those. Yeah, he's chilling with me. He always chills with me. Does anyone else have any last questions before I head out? Because I have a list of things to do today. So I didn't want to rush this, but I didn't want to make this like an hour-long video either. So people that weren't able to watch this today can easily watch back and not have to like sit through an entire hour. So I'm going to leave about 1 more minute. If no one has any more questions, then I'm going to wrap this up. Nope, no more questions. Awesome. So guys, I just want to thank you all for joining today. I hope you learned a little bit of how I make my oils, how to make general oils, and then how to make spiritual baths. Later on down the road, I'll be actually doing a little bit more simpler ones, because I know everyone's freaking out thinking, oh my god, I just used like 13 herbs and oils for my bath and then like 6-7 oils for my oil. But I will be showing you simpler versions of how I do certain things. So if you're in a pinch and you don't necessarily have all these different herbs, you can use like basic everyday things as well. But I just want to thank you all. Hope you had a fantastic day. Hope you have the fantastic rest of your day or night. And tomorrow at the same time, 1 p.m., I'm going to be doing a video on how to make a luck gree bag, or mojo bag as some call it, and how to make a luck oil to dress the bag with. So with that said, I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you guys tomorrow at 1 p.m. same time. And have a good afternoon, you guys. Bye-bye. I don't remember how to end this. Dave, how do you end this? Okay, I think you just click the...
No, hold on.
No, you don't want to... What do I do? Oh my god, you guys, this is awkward.
Yeah, you click the X.
Oh, you just click the S?
Yeah, you
oh,
gotta
okay.
end stream.
Oh, okay, we figured it out. Okay, bye everybody.